The American Academy says virtually no screen time under the age of 2. I think the reason they say that, your visual map is being formed. Even though a kid could use a phone or an iPad, they're not really learning. And what is happening, they're just like a photocopy machine, repeating a step and move on to something even more. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. Until a child gets to be 3 or 4 years old, and of course has more verbal language and cognition development, then you can discuss what's going on in the video or in the movie or on the news even, which is not a good idea for young children to watch the news at all, because of course again it puts down some very bad images. And yes, until the age of 3 or 4, when they have cognitive development and language to be able to understand what they're hearing and processing, then they basically just take in this information, and it's sort of like you say, a map. And a lot of these things are harrowing images.
If you took a kid under 2.5, based what I've heard, show a kid how to tie a shoe, he will learn it 6 times better than seeing it in a video under the age of 2.5. Once a kid's at 2.5, maybe seeing a video because they had some experiences in life might be better. But under 2.5, he picked, and they sort of proved that. Look, there were some things I couldn't believe. 10% of infants are playing with a smartphone, probably as a babysitter in a restaurant. 100% of homes, not 90, 50. Probably a TV. They might not even have running water or toilet facility, but they're going to have a TV in that house. Is that correct?
Yes.
And the worst thing, you have a meal. 2/3 of the time, the TV's on, you have a meal. That used to be the family meeting we used to have where you discuss, in a civilized way, we hope, what happened, what we expect. We expect of the parents to do for me if I do this. It was a good thing. We don't have that family meeting anymore. Maybe we have to create it artificially. Am I wrong in saying that?
You're not wrong in saying it. And in fact, to me, it piggybacks with the idea that they find now that compared to years ago, most parents spend 5% of their time with their children, meaning the child is either in school, daycare, or at home, but watching a video, playing with a smartphone. There's very little time that parents actually spend compared to years ago, 30s, 50s, 60s, where probably it was more like 50% of the time.
We don't have that anymore. Our family's not a TV set or a smartphone any. They think it is, but it isn't. You don't learn by seeing a picture as much as going to a country or a city, feeling the city, seeing the sun hit the buildings, and you see a picture. You don't get that kind of feeling. Am I wrong?
Not wrong at all. In fact, I could relate to it in terms of graduate school. When I got out of graduate school, basically you know nothing because it's all theoretical. And when you first start to learn is when you go and work with the clients, and that they teach you everything.